Hello everyone, it's Veronica and welcome back to my channel. This video today is just going to be my 2022 favorites, so 12 books, 12 favorites for each of the months. Now I have some honorable mentions per month sometimes, because sometimes I just can't choose, but I did choose like the top favorite, and then I had some honorable mentions, of course. If you guys do enjoy all of these favorites, or in general this video, do give it a thumbs up and also hit the subscribe button down below if you guys are interested. I'll be super grateful if you guys did. I'm really excited. By the way, this is the very first video I'm gonna say this because, well, I am gonna make an introductory video for it. It is gonna go up in January, but I thought I'd mention it early. I did create a Ko-fi or Ko-fi account, so if you guys are interested in buying me coffee or supporting me, you guys, if you guys are interested, of course there's no obligation to do so. If you guys are interested in supporting me, of course, I would be super grateful if you guys did. Do buy me coffee if you guys want to. I would be, again, super grateful. I mean, I want to take the next step in making my channel better and amazing and stronger in 2023. I probably say this every year, but now that I have the time, and I know I'm in college, but now that I actually know my schedule, what I want to do and everything, I do want to make more videos. If you guys do end up buying me coffee, thank you in advance. Send a message, a sweet message, no bad stuff, and I will share it in my next video. If I have a new message from you guys, a new donation message, I will share it with you guys in every new video I have. So I'm really excited. I'm excited. I'll be posting, video updates, book review updates, everything on the coffee account. So I'm really excited. So it will be linked down below. I'm really excited. I'll be super grateful. So thank you guys. Alright, so let's get started. 2022 favorites. Very difficult, I must say. Very difficult. I have 1 month where I did terrible, aka April. I literally read only 5 books that month, so that was really easy to choose, what book I really wanted. Right here, I have a list of, I literally handwrote it on my iPad. I have to literally look at that. Anyway, this is all the things that I have for 2022 favorites. I'm excited. The most difficult for me, I think, was the later half of 2022, as well as finding the genres. I had to separate romance into its subcategories, like fantasy romance, historical, LGBT. In January, I read 35 books. Isn't that amazing? I think that's insane. Now, a big thing I did was read a lot of audiobooks, especially short audiobooks on Audible. So Audible Plus was literally my best friend that month, and then I somehow, for some reason, kind of stopped listening to audiobooks. I don't know what happened. I just kind of stopped, and audiobooks I still continue to listen throughout the whole year. I think audiobooks, January was my best month. And this time my favorite book was actually a favorite series. I, to be honest, didn't really have a lot of greats in January, but I did have, there were a bunch of Lauren Blakely's that I read on Audible that I loved, but I think the top one was the Mine F series by St. Abbey. That series consisted of 5 books, very short, about 100 each, and I just read that in one day, all 5 one day, and it was just so much fun. That was my favorite for January. So much fun. I didn't think I'd have a lot of fun, but I ended up really enjoying it, and it was just so good. Short and sweet. It's on Kindle Unlimited if you guys are interested. That's how I read it, so check it out. Now for February, we kind of went downhill. I only read 13, so we're going from 35 to 13, which is insane. I mean, 13 honestly is still a very good number. That I would say is roughly how much I read in a month going forward, kind of. But in February, my favorite was Room Hate by Penelope Ward. I love, that was so good. I originally read that because I kind of saw a bunch of teasers on TikTok. 5 stars, amazing, steamy, kind of, was it pretty steamy, kind of like maybe a 2 out of 5. Steam, amazing, definitely my favorite. It is so good that it's just chef's kiss, amazing. 10 out of 10 recommend. Honorable mentions this time. First was First Love Take Two by Sashini Patel. Ooh, so good. Another 5-star. It was amazing. I loved it. This is actually book 2 in her series. What is the series called? Okay, there is a book 1. It's The Trouble with Hating You. That's book 1. And then First Love Take Two is book 2. Now, I did enjoy The Trouble with Hating You, but First Love Take Two by far was my favorite. I really enjoyed that book. I actually own First Love Take Two on my shelf. I don't own The Trouble with Hating You. Sometimes you gotta say slow. I don't own it. It wasn't my favorite. I enjoyed it. I would recommend reading it, book 1 and then book 2, but First Love Take Two, by far my favorite. Loved it. The second honorable mention is The Kiss Thief by LJ Shen. This is a reread, so that's why it's not my top favorite of the month. I want to give other books a chance, so it's honorable mention. This is the second time I read it. The first time I read it was on Audible Plus. Audible Escape, technically, back when there was an Audible Escape. I really enjoyed the first time around. This time I read it on my Kindle, and I loved it just as much as I loved the book, like the first time I read it. It is so good. It is my favorite by LJ Shen. I haven't read much of LJ Shen, but this one, The Kiss Thief, was by far my favorite. By far. So, loved all 3. Room Hate, though, that was the best. In March, I read 24 books. In March, my favorite was Things We Never Got Over by Lucy Score. This was my very first Lucy Score ever, and I really enjoyed it. I actually ended up annotating it physically. Loved it. Amazing, 5 stars. So excited for whatever the second one is. I pre-ordered it. I simply forgot the title. It is right here. I'll put it up for you guys though. I loved Things We Never Got Over. I loved the couples. I totally forgot their name. So cute that just, honestly, the tension was really good, and I love the fact that we're gonna call her Daisy because that's the nickname for her. I don't know her real name. I forgot. I forget. So I really enjoyed Things We Never Got Over. It was a close tie with Sinners Anonymous by Soames Getcher. That is my honorable mention for March. Sinners Anonymous, mafia-ish, and it was book 1. I actually need to read Sinners Condemned. I need to read Sinners Condemned, which is book 2, and it recently came out. And book 3 is coming out next year, so I'm really excited. But I do want to read Sinners Condemned before book 3 comes out. Hi everyone. Actually, I'm a little wrong. The Sinners Consumed, aka book 3, actually came out in September. So my bad. But I do have Sinners Atone, aka book 4, to look forward to next year, September. So my bad. I just didn't realize that Sinners Consumed came out earlier than I thought. Sinners Anonymous, phenomenal. Really enjoyed it. Read in one sitting. So good. Tension high, angst high, just the chemistry off the charts. Loved it. I really enjoyed this story. It was just fun, fresh for the time I was reading it, because that was like the first mafia-esque that I was reading, and I really enjoyed it. So that was March. And in April was the worst by far. April, I read 5 books, and this is really easy. I read Spoiler Alert by Olivia Dade. I've read the whole series. I still need to read Shipwrecked. I started it in November, but I deleted it off my Goodreads because I just discontinued it. Not because I hate it, just because I just didn't want to read. Physically, specifically. I didn't really want to read physically. This one, surprisingly, I can show you. Ah, so pretty! I started, as you can see, annotating it. I even have my bookmark. I also wrote down when I started it, aka November 14th. I need to erase these, but because I never finished it in November. I still need to read it, and I'll probably read it in January, unfortunately. In April, I read Spoiler Alert by her, and I gave that 4 stars. It was not my favorite out of the series. I actually have not found if I liked any of the books, but Shipwrecked by far just sounds like the one I am gonna give 5 stars. It sounds so good. Spoiler alert, was very fun. Very nice. I love Olivia Dade's writing so far. I've read her There's Something About Marysburg series, and I really enjoyed it. So I definitely like Olivia Dade's writing. Can't wait for her future books. In May, I read 12 books. Pretty good. The book I liked, though, was By the Book by Jasmine Guillory. That was an ARC, actually, from NetGalley. But Barnes & Noble sold it early, and I bought it early. So I read it and annotated it and loved it, and 5 stars. It was so good. I have read Jasmine Guillory before, but this one by far was my favorite from her. It is kind of a Beauty and the Beast-esque. It was really good. I annotated it, loved it. It was just so good. Highly recommend. I honestly really want to reread, to be honest. That one was really good. In June, I read 9 books, so, you know, we're slowly getting there, but it's still just as bad. And the favorite was actually a school book. It is The Cat Who Saved Books by Sosuke Natsukawa, and that is a Japanese translated to English book. And so I read it for one of my English classes, and it was a lot of fun. I actually didn't give it 5, I give it 4. But I annotated it and I wrote a paper on it, and I really enjoyed it. It was really different. I wanted to mention The Cat Who Saved Books because I think, honestly, that was my favorite for June by far. It was an unexpected one because I realized I actually enjoyed it a lot more than I thought when I was writing down this list, and it did. They kind of go to different realms, and it was a lot of fun, and very heartfelt. Very heartfelt. Really enjoyed it. Let's talk about July. I think I did better in July because I'm looking at a very long list for July. We did much better in July. I read 20 books, and I had a lot of favorites, I think. Yeah, I did, because I have 2 honorable mentions here. 2. My top favorite was Dance of a Burning Sea by E.J. Mello. Now, I did read book 1 as well, Song of the Forever Rains, in July. I read Song of the Forever Rains on the 16th, and then Dance of a Burning Sea on the 22nd. However, out of book 1 and book 2, Dance of a Burning Sea, by far my favorite. The tension and angst and just the chemistry between our 2 couples in Dance of a Burning Sea just felt so much stronger. Now, I'm not saying the chemistry between our hero and heroine in book 1 was bad, but Dance of a Burning Sea couple by far much stronger, and I really enjoyed it, and it was definitely my favorite. And I cannot wait for book 3, which I did pre-order, and I'm really excited for it to come, maybe in February. I really hope. I'm so excited, and I think I would probably do a reread of book 1 and book 2 before I read book 3. So I'm really excited. Pretty sure it's a trilogy because it's about 3 sisters. Unless there's more, I'm not gonna complain. Honorable mentions time. I read A Million Kisses in Your Lifetime by Monica Murphy, which conveniently I think is also book 2, but when I read it at the time, I thought it was a standalone. And I do own the first and second and third one, so I'm gonna go back and read that. But at the time, when I read this in July, I didn't realize that A Million Kisses in Your Lifetime was actually a series. Yeah, I just found out. I found out in November, actually. But I loved A Million Kisses in Your Lifetime. I'm halfway through copying my annotations from my Kindle to the physical book. Still need to do it. I read it in July, and I still haven't done it, and it's literally the end of the year. So, I need to get to that. But I loved A Million Kisses in Your Lifetime, so really enjoyed it. And next, I read The Mixtape by Brittany C. Cherry. I don't know what platform I read this. I'm gonna have to find out because I want to tell you guys how I read it. Okay, I did read this on Kindle. It was from Kindle Unlimited. That's right. I had the mixtape on my KU, shelf list for so long that I decided to just pick it up and read it, and I don't regret it. It is so good. I actually own it physically. I bought it. It was just so good that I bought it physically. Something is happening here in Honolulu. What on earth? But I really enjoyed the mixtape. It is heartbreaking, and the thing with Brittany C. Cherry, I read her Lost Elements series, the Element series. I don't know what the series name is called, but I did read that series. They're all very heavily emotional. This just, expect a little bit of tears just in the eyes, not like tears unless you cry, but the mixtape was really good music, and it talked about, I think, twins, or at least older brothers. One of the brothers dies. Don't worry, it's in the synopsis. And so the brother has to deal with the fact that he is so much different, and his brother who died is really the face of the two duo band kind of thing. And so it kind of goes through this, and he has a daughter, and our heroine is actually the nanny, and they fall in love, and it's all just really cute, and I loved it. It was just one of a kind, so good. And those were the 2 honorable mentions for July. Let's talk about August. I have 3 honorable mentions, so August definitely bounced back. Let's check out how many books I read. In August, I actually read 18, so not too bad. I mean, July 20, but August 18, not bad at all. Definitely a lot more favorites in August. And the top was The Cheat Sheet by Sarah Adams. Loved it. I annotated it so much that it actually, it's so pretty. I love it. I love it. The Cheat Sheet, 5 stars. Football romance. I loved it. So our hero is a football player, famous football player. This is a best friends to lovers kind of situation, and I really enjoy that trope. I know a lot of people don't, but I do like best friends to lovers. And I really enjoyed it, and this was really funny. Like, the cheat sheet, I annotated it a lot, and I feel like the most highlights I have are just funny things. I really enjoyed it, and I actually have 3 honorable mentions that I thought I would mention. First off, Kingdom of the Wicked and Kingdom of the Cursed. I read book 3 in October. I read those 2, gave both of them 5 stars. Both of which, by the way, by Carrie Maniscalco. Loved the first 2 books, really enjoyed it. I don't know what I think book 2 is my favorite, but I also really enjoyed book 5. All of them, by the way, 5 stars. Really, book 3. Sorry, book 5? Oops. All of them, 5 stars, really enjoyed it. The next one is Battle Royal by Lucy Parker. This is an enemies to lovers kind of situation. They both kind of work with each other, but they fall in love because the close proximity, you know? Loved it, really enjoyed it, and they both are bakers, and they have to make a cake for a royal wedding. Yeah. And the last honorable mention was Love in Other Words by Christina Lauren. Love it. I've read a few of their work. Love in Other Words, I gave 5 stars. Very slow, very emotional. Not a lot of romance. It's second chance, by the way. Fantastic. Loved it. Really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed it. I don't know what else to say. And I had fun. Let's talk about September. I'm trying to go fast now because I spent like 30 minutes already. September, I read 24 books, so getting there. And my favorite was When Gracie Met the Grump by Mariana Zapata. Literally just... what else can I say? Mariana Zapata is queen of everything, slow burn. And I loved When Gracie Met the Grump. I gave that 5 stars, by the way. Just phenomenal. Just phenomenal. Loved it to death, to be honest. And Gracie Met the Grump is superhero romance, which is a first for Mariana Zapata. She usually does contemporary romance kind of thing, slow burn. But I really enjoyed When Gracie Met the Grump. It was a surprise publish. So, you know, everyone was like, oh my god, Mariana Zapata, superhero romance? Okay, sure. Honorable mentions, Love on the Brain by Ali Hazelwood. Loved it. I annotated it and really enjoyed it. I definitely feel like I enjoy Love on the Brain better than The Love Hypothesis. But I loved both books. Both great, both fun. Gave both of the books 5 stars, but between the 2, Love on the Brain was my favorite. October, I read, by far, literally my best month. I read 38 books in competition to January, 35. 30 is my best this year in total, and then it was October, then January, and you still need to calculate November and December. But in October, my favorite was Kingdom of the Feared, aka book 3, and the last of the Kingdom of the Wicked trilogy by Carrie Maniscalco. Loved it. Like I said, I gave all books 5 stars. Terrific. and a really good ending, to be honest. And now I really want a sequel, like a sequel series, like a whole different series on other characters, probably the other what, 6 brothers of Wrath. I don't, 6, because it's 7 deadly sins, so 6 brothers, right? Makes sense. Really good ending to the Kingdom of the Wicked series trilogy. I can't decide between whether I liked book 2 better or book 3 better. Honestly, I loved the whole series. It was a lot of fun. Honorable mentions, I read Heartless by Elsie Silver, and also Flawless some time ago. I don't remember when I read that, but I read Heartless and I loved it. Flawless and Heartless I gave 5 stars by Elsie Silver, by the way. Heartless is cowboy or country romance, steamy. I mean, Flawless was also very steamy. Heartless, super steamy, kind of a nanny romance, and the encounter, like the very first time they meet, it's just so funny. So I highly recommend Heartless, and definitely the Kingdom of the Wicked trilogy. Loved all of them. And November. Let's talk about November. In November, I read 24 books, which is amazing. I mean, definitely no October for sure, but 24 is really good. Book Lovers was my favorite by Emily Henry. I love Emily Henry's books. I actually gave it a 4.5. I feel like there was just something, like something missing. But like, I still loved it. Like, I love Emily Henry's books. There's just something so special about it, and I really enjoyed it. Book Lovers, highly recommend. Kind of a hate to love, if you will, but really enjoyable. Small town. I loved it. It was just so fun and fresh to see this book, and I cannot wait for her other book, her new book in 2023. Honorable mention is a reread for me, and it is The Wall of Winnipeg and Me by, of course, Mariana Zapata. I really enjoyed it. The first time I read it was on Audible Escape. Loved it. That was my very first Mariana Zapata book ever. And I reread it this time physically and annotated it and loved it. Just rereading it and highlighting, being able to physically highlight, it was just so satisfying. By far, so much fun. I really enjoyed it. That's just such a good book. If it wasn't a reread, it would probably have been my favorite for November, but because it was a reread, I wanted to give other books a chance, and Book Lovers was the new favorite. So for November, Book Lovers, and honorable mention was my reread of The Wall of Winnipeg and Me. December, ding ding ding. I have so far read 18, and I'm probably going to end it off at 18. So far, my favorite is the Getting Lucky series by Megan Quinn. Getting Lucky series consists of 4 books, and I gave every single one of them 5 stars. It was hilarious and romantic, and it was just perfect small town romance. All brothers, by the way, they all believe they're cursed. They're not, but they all do. But it was just amazing. I just fell in love because of the way Megan Quinn writes her text messages. I mean, the text conversation between the brothers and sisters. Love the series. 5 star. Just so funny. So romantic, by the way. Loved it. Just so good. Honorable mentions. The Fantasy League by Meg Reading. I have it right here. Ta-da! This was really good. This gave me The Wall of Winnipeg and Me vibes. It not the same, of course, but just made me remember The Wall of Winnipeg and Me. And I was like, yeah, I just loved it. And even when I was reading it, I knew this was a 5 star, and I did give it 5 stars. It was just so good, and I really enjoyed it. Fake Date, kind of a hate to love, because kind of a one-sided hate to love, because she thinks that he hates her, but he doesn't. He clearly likes her. But I really enjoyed it. 10 out of 10, 5 stars, really enjoyed it. Next, I recently, actually, probably the most recent finish. Yeah, I just finished it on the 25th. December has not been a good reading month for me. I just barely read anything. I really enjoyed Hook, Line, and Sinker by Tessa Bailey. That is book 2 in her series, which, what is it called? It's a small town romance series, by the way. It is the Bellinger sisters, and this is book 2. This is Hannah's story with Fox, and I really enjoyed it. Highly recommend the series. It is just so good. I really enjoyed Hook, Line, and Sinker, and I loved book 1, of course, but I think book 2 was definitely my favorite out of the two. I feel like I liked Hannah's story better with her romance with Fox. Really enjoyed it. Loved it. And yeah, those were all the monthly books favorites. 12 books plus a little bit of extra honorable mentions. And that is it. I hope you guys enjoyed it. And you know, if you guys do enjoy it, give it a thumbs up. Also hit the subscribe button down below. I cannot talk for some reason. And also a reminder that I set up my Ko-Fi coffee page. So if you guys want to get that extra step in supporting me, I'll be so grateful if you did buy me coffee. And thank you again for supporting me in general. Whether it's you liking it, you subscribing to my channel, or buying me coffee, whatever it is. And if you do end up buying me coffee, and type a little message, and I would gladly share it with on my next video, whenever that will be. Anyway, thank you guys so much for coming. Bye guys.